All right, everybody. So we are super excited to be joined once again by Terry from Buzz Boys. As you remember, Terry joined the show just a few weeks ago. We talked Hornets, we talked trade rumors, a lot to dive into. Obviously, Montrezl Harrell is now a Charlotte Hornet. I have a whole week of games to kind of recap. So, Terry, how are you, man? It's good to have you
I'm
back on.
doing I'm doing great, man. How are you? Yes, it's a pleasure to be on, man. It's a
It's
pleasure to be
good. It's
on.
good. Yeah, no
Always
doubt.
love to do a collab.
We love it. We love it. Yeah, so kind of the main thing that I guess we'll dive into, and obviously the games, we'll talk about as well. But the Hornets did swing a trade at the deadline. And for Montrezl Harrell, who is a guy who I don't really think a whole lot of people like saw that move coming. I don't think, the rumors that you saw was maybe like Miles Turner or maybe like Rashawn Holmes. But Montrez wasn't really a guy who I don't think most people really, predicted that he would be traded. But I loved the move. Like when I saw it, I got really excited. He's not really he didn't really fix your center problem, but man, like he's just a dog on the court. Like that mentality, you can already tell it's rubbing off on some of these other dudes. What did you think about the trade?
Um, Honestly, I love the trade, and I could predict. I did see it coming just a little bit. I did on my YouTube video where I did my trade prediction. I had like the five main guys that I wanted to go after, and then I had three honorable mentions, and he was one of my honorable mentions. And the reason he was that was because he was on an expiring deal, and I
Yep.
thought we were kind of looking for somebody with a little more security, and that's why I thought we would target Rashawn Holmes. But Mitch Kupchak said in his introductory press conference that they only targeted guys on expiring deals.
Hmm.
So I guess he was trying to keep some financial flexibility. So, I think it was a great move. And for what we gave up, bro, even if he does walk this summer, who cares?
Yeah, no doubt.
Ish and Vern, two borderline G League players. And now yesterday I saw that we also included I think a 2023
Like a
second
second
round
round
pick.
pick. Yeah.
But I mean, who cares? Our first round is barely played now. Who
Right.
cares? So I have no problem with anything that we gave up because we didn't mortgage our future and he can help us now as we've already seen immediate impact. And I mean, I know he's undersized, but I do think he helps our center position though. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he can be a 20 and 10 guy if you give him 30 minutes. And
Right.
he almost did that last night. He had 20 and 9. And Plumlee stole a couple of his rebounds too. So he
Yeah.
could have got for real. So yeah, I love the move, man. I think we re-sign him this offseason. I do.
I'm hoping so. Yeah, just it's hard to can't really put a number on it, but like just that mentality, like he is a dog out on the court, and I think that rubs off on the other dudes. Like I think that I'm not trying to like throw Mason under the bus, but I just think it's different. Like Trez is one of those dudes who like people know what Trez is about, like on the court.
He's
And,
always fired
yeah,
up. He's always screaming. He's always yelling. You don't see that from Plumlee.
yeah, and I remember even back to his college days at Louisville. It was the year I guess technically the NCAA took it away for the whole Rick Pitino thing, but they were in the championship game and he was like throwing down alley oop dunks and like he was just the guy who totally like turned momentum, in that game. And like you're saying, you really don't give up anything. I mean, like Vern, who is in the G League, Ish, who like hardly, like was getting 0 minutes a lot of nights, and
Yeah,
a second round pick who is probably just going to be like another guy who ends up in the G League.
yeah.
So, and I'm with you where like I think in the NBA, you have to, I just think like getting a proven player is worth giving up what someone might become. Because like, is there a chance that Vernon Carey turns out to be some, amazing player? Like, there might be like a small chance, but like, it's worth that risk to go out and get Trez because you know what Trez is.
Yeah. You
He's
know what
like
he
a sure
is.
thing.
You know what he is, and he just brings in an immediate veteran presence. And even Terry Rozier, he literally said he's like, bro, people are already listening to him. He's already like the voice of the locker room.
Yeah,
Because
no doubt.
we have this is a young team. We are still the fifth youngest team in the NBA before this move. And when you're young, you're not necessarily going to be a vocal leader. You might be trying to lead by example, but it takes a veteran presence to speak up and make people listen to you. And I think Terry Rozier was kind of that for us, but you bring in somebody like Montrezl Harrell, he's vocal. And even like his first game before the tip off, he was just dapping everybody up and like just riling them up. And that's
Right.
just what you need. And one thing about him, he didn't even have to play in that Detroit game. Like he was already in Charlotte, which I didn't know. He was already in Charlotte. He could have just stayed the night there and waited for the Grizzlies game, but he personally flew to Detroit to play with us that first night. So that just shows the fight right there. Like I want to be on the court with you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. I was going to mention that too. Like Del Curry and Eric Collins talked about it on the broadcast for the Pistons game. It was like he wasn't required to be there, and a lot. It was literally one day after the trade. So like, go say goodbye to your old teammates or whatever. Like get ready to make the move to Charlotte. But yeah, he was like the one. He's no, like I'm gonna play in the game. I'm on the team now. The team needs me. And you could just tell like that rubbed off on the other dudes. And like, granted, Detroit's not a good team, but like, you know, just you could tell like the energy was different
The energy
with
was
Trez
crazy.
there.
The energy was crazy. And the energy that we saw in that second half was what we saw in that Pistons game. But it was just,
Right.
we got off to such a poor start where it's like the same ugly problems keep rearing their head. Like, bro, we can't have quarters where we're having 15 points, 20 points, stuff like that. Because then you have a flawless second half and it still results in a loss.
Yeah, it's like too little, too late. Like you're saying, you can't just rely on some, like miracle comeback every single game. Like you're saying, and you get yourself down by 35 to the Grizzlies, who are a really, really good team. Like it's not some scrubs, like they're third in the West and tearing things up right now. So
And I saw your tweet where you said we should be modeling after them. And
that's my thing. Yeah, like, and not to say like you need to like copy the way they play or anything, but like, I hear this from fans and it drives me crazy. Like, oh, well, Charlotte's a small market. We've never been good. So like what, we just like shouldn't expect to be good. It's like just because you've not been good, like what are you like required to be bad forever? Like that's kind of like what they're saying. And I just don't agree with that. Because it's not like Memphis is some team that like a lot of the free agents are wanting to go
yeah,
to.
they built from within.
They
They
just kind
built
of
from
get like the
within.
right guys, like Zach Randolph, who was really, really talented, but he kind of needed to get to a team where he was like, kind of in a good role. And like Tony Allen, guys like that who just kind of like fit what they were about. They're not getting, the LeBrons or KDs or whatever, like in free agency. They just get like the right guys
Yep,
who
get the right
fit what they have going on.
Yep, getting the right pieces. It's big and drafting as well. Like with where they are now, everybody is a draft pick.
Right.
Everybody is an in-house draft pick that they've developed. And I mean, like, look at what Brandon Clark was for them a few years back. Then it was Dylan Brooks. Now it's Bane. It's just like every year, just some young guy just pops for them, and you're like, who the fuck
Right.
is this guy?
Yeah.
And then that's just like that's what we've been needing ourselves. And with these draft picks now, it's like they're not seeing the floor. And now they kind of are. And we saw last night, like JT and Book, like the impact that they had. Book
Man,
didn't have the most efficient shooting night, but when we did the like lineup, it was Mello, Book, JT, Harrell, and Plumlee. That started the comeback.
right.
Then we swapped out Book and brought in Terry, but it was like that started it. So it's important to develop these young pieces, this whole young core.
Yeah, like you're saying, like, and I thought to myself, like, I don't, I like watching this team, so I'm not saying like I'm ready to jump to the future, but man, I just get so excited thinking about Thor and Kai Jones. Like, I was so glad we didn't. I saw the rumor that there was a trade on the table for Pirtle from the
Yeah.
Spurs, but Kai Jones would have been part of the trade, and I'm glad we didn't do that because man, I know it's in the G League. I know like the competition at the best that he's doing it against, but just like watching his clips on the
That game
Swarm,
where he
like
destroys people.
give that give that dude a few years, man. Like I just like he's exactly what we need, just not he's just like not that quite there yet.
Yeah, he's
And people
just
forget like he didn't even start playing basketball until he was 15. So like it's not like he grew up playing basketball. So like you kind of understand why
he's a
he's going to
little
need a
raw.
little bit of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
he's a little raw, a
yeah.
little raw. But I definitely think that we just let him keep developing. And plus, like when it's available, I do want to see him play. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, with the end result of the game, you see why we didn't wave the white flag and just throw the guys in there.
Right.
But I didn't see that comeback coming. Like once we were down like 25 or something in the first quarter, I literally tweeted, I'm like, bro, put in Kai and JT.
Yeah.
Now we did end up playing JT the whole fourth quarter, and I'm glad he played the whole 12 minutes. So we got to see
Right.
him out in that fourth quarter. But I don't know. I wanted Kai just a little bit. Let's see. Let's
Right.
see. Like, what do we have to lose at this point? Down 35. Now, obviously, we almost put up a crazy comeback, but we put off the comeback with a wonky lineup that you wouldn't have expected. So it's like,
Right.
Kai could have been one of those guys firing people up, and you just never know what could have happened. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Like,
no doubt.
especially in blowouts or even in big wins, it's like, let's put the guys in there. We'll be up 30 and still not play the young guys. That bothers me. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, no
want to
doubt.
see them against NBA competition, even if it's just for 5 or 6 minutes. We need to see that.
I mean, that's how you get better. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and I compare it to like, when I played like high school and in ninth grade, you practice against, the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, and like, you're probably like not the best player on the court or whatever, but you gotta, like, that's how you get better. You go against people who are better than you, and that
Yeah.
pretty much like forces you to improve. And if you
Yeah.
just play people who are not as good as you, it'd be like me going and playing like against like little kids or
Dominating
something.
JV.
Yeah.
Dominating JV as a
So,
senior.
and
It's
that's
not
what I
helping.
like. I think like, yeah, I'm on board with you. Like even like blowout games, like putting Kai in, like that's really valuable experience.
It's like, to me, the last, you doing it for the last 2 minutes or minute and 30 seconds, man, that's not enough. That's
Yeah.
nothing. And even like last game where Terry had the triple double, and even last night he was only, I think, one assist away or one rebound away. He was one something away from another triple double back to back
I think it was
last night.
one assist.
Yeah, I think
I
he was
think he
one
had
assist
nine
away.
assists.
But the game before where he was hunting for the rebound and he got it, he looked to the sideline like kind of expecting JB to call timeout. JB did that. Go, go, go. So we kept playing, and that was probably with 3 minutes left or 2 minutes. I know. And by the time that we actually got to stop and play, and Kai Jones came in, it was like a minute and something left. So it's like, he has his rebound. He's even looking to JB like, okay, put Kai in, it's garbage time now. And we still kept playing, and he only plays a minute 30. It's like that hurts his development. Just that minute 30 seconds. What is that? That's not enough. That's
Right.
not enough.
Can't like get
So
in any kind of a rhythm.
yeah, and that's why it's so
That's like
important.
maybe like what, like shot clock's 30 or 24 seconds. So what? That's like maybe like two possessions.
Yeah. And as soon as he came in, like he took that contested mid-range, like fall away shot. And it was like, why are you taking this shot? But it was like he's antsy. He's
Yeah.
antsy at this point. You only have a minute 30 seconds to show something or to show that you can do something. For one, that's immense pressure. You only have a few minutes to even show your coaches that, okay, I can play. So you're going to try to force things.
Right.
And I think we saw that with Book too as well. Now that his role is expanded, he's used to playing with Melo and Terry and Miles. Okay, I belong here. I'm good. But when if I make this mistake, I'm not going to play for the next however long. It's pressure. It's pressure. And
No
then
doubt.
he ended up getting a dunk or whatever, and it was cool. Like him and JT, I think they both got points or whatever. So it was cool to see them scoring garbage time. But I don't know. I want to see them more, especially in blowout wins when we can do it.
Yeah, no
And
doubt. No doubt.
and that's even what led to Book and Borrego's confrontation like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When it was why is he not in the game? You put him in the game for, I believe, 14 seconds to end the third quarter. Then the fourth quarter starts. He's back on the bench. Bro,
And that
I
was
would
my
be mad
thing.
too.
Yeah, I talked about that last week. It was, look, like you see people on Twitter, whatever, like blaming it all on Book or all on Borrego. And like, I'm normally kind of like I don't like to say something is like 100% one way or the other. And I feel like on Twitter, it's like easier to
You pick a
just,
side. You have to
but
pick a side.
yeah. But my thing is like with Book, and I talked about this last week on last week's episode, was like, I'd rather him have that fire. You know what I'm saying? Like it would
Yeah.
bother me a little bit more if he was just cool with like riding the pine all the time and like had no, like, look, these guys are in the NBA. They are like in the 0.05% of like the best basketball players in the world. So like all of them have an ego, and that's not a bad thing. Like you got to have an ego to get to the league. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be kind of like, out there with like no belief in yourself. And like clearly he believes in himself and thinks he can be helping this team out. So it's like, yeah, it probably wasn't like the best look to do that. Like, I'm not saying it was a good thing that it happened, but I'm not like really upset that he did it either, because I'm thinking like he's got that fire. And like, if you can just like kind of channel that into like his opportunity on the court and like play with that fire, then I think, that's kind of where the magic happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. I mean, even last night he had like 12 points, and he's not the most efficient from the field. But one thing about Book, he's very good at drawing fouls and getting to the foul line.
He
He's
is.
very good at that. So it was like, once his start starts falling, he might be able to give you kind of the Kelly Oubre type production where it's like high teens, low 20s off the bench here and there. And one thing about it, bro, he's a pretty solid perimeter defender. From what I've seen in the few minutes that he's played, like he's not a guy that you're gonna blow by. It was a few times where he, made the Grizzlies pull out and reset. They couldn't blow by him like they thought they could.
Right.
And one thing about Oubre, bro, like, bro, he's not the defender that I thought he was. He's at the bottom. He's at the bottom. Him and like I saw a graphic, and him and Gordon were like in the bottom 10 of the NBA.
You know what you're talking about, yeah.
Like, bro, so and that's honestly why we might get cooked so bad on defense, because like you're trying to play Gordon, you're trying to play Oubre, bro. They both suck at defense. They both suck at defense. So I think that's why Oubre really didn't play at all in the second half, honestly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what's tough, because like you're saying, like Oubre is not really giving you like what you kind of need on defense. Cody Martin, like what you're getting on defense. Like Cody Martin will defend, but he hadn't been shooting very well ever since he came back off the COVID list. Like his shot has just yeah. So it's like if you could just take like you need like good Oubre. It's like that's what's kind of frustrating, is like he's either lighting it up or there's like no in between. It's either
swear, bro. I've said that on my channel so many times. Like, bro, Oubre is either going to be hot and he's going to make like 5+, 6+ threes,
right,
or he's going to shoot 10% and hurt your team very badly. Yeah. Like, that's it. There's no in between ever. And one thing about it, when he's cold, it's like he doesn't realize he's cold. He keeps trying to shoot his way out of it. Like, bro, why are you 1 for 10 from 3? After you missed the first 9, why are you shooting a 10th? Like, why do you keep shooting?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me, but I've never seen anything like it. Like just the streakiness of like ice cold to red hot. It's crazy.
It's wild. Insane. Yeah, and like I mean, I know kind of like the whole team, like as a whole unit or whatever, like has not been shooting very well lately. Like kind of the losing streak, lost 6 in a row. They were shooting really poorly. And Kelly's one of those guys, like you're going to have him, knocking down shots. Like that's kind of what his role is on this team. Like in addition to, LaMelo and Miles and these dudes, but like at least like if LaMelo shot it and going, like he does run the offense and he does like other things that help you out. Kelly doesn't really,
like you're supposed to be a spark off the bench.
Yeah, like he's got to knock down shots or else he's not really giving you a ton beyond that.
And one thing about Kelly, when his shot isn't falling, he still can get to the basket. Like, bro, it's so crazy because Kelly will be like 3 for 17. Then you look at the box score, and he still has like 20 points. And you're like, bro, how?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro, how? So he still manages to score. He'll get to the foul line, or he'll, get his layups or his dunks. And he has a little package where like he'll do like a little runner, like little hook runner. It's bro, he has a couple of different moves in the post that actually work. But it's like, bro, when his shot isn't falling, it's just not what we need. We need 3.
No doubt.
That's why we are where we are at the top of the league in scoring, because we shoot and hit a lot of threes.
Right. Yeah, so I'm looking at the schedule coming up. Like, obviously, I mean, this week you got only 2 games and you got your All-Star break. So they're at Minnesota on Tuesday night, and then Miami comes back on Thursday. Like, obviously, you want to win every game you play. Like, I'm not saying, like, you should just expect to lose. But I think if they can split this week and get to the All-Star break at 500, considering, like, the recent losing streak, I still think, like, most fans would probably be somewhat happy with that. And so I think, I mean, I'm thinking though, like you got a better shot to beat Minnesota, even though it's at Minnesota, because like Miami, we just don't play well against Miami, like whatever the cause. And they came in and kicked our butts last time. So again, like they could definitely come out and beat Miami. Like, I'm not saying that you should like expect to lose before the game even happens, but I think if you can somehow split this week and you get a week off of All-Star break, whatever, like let the guys rest up a little bit and come back fresh after that. Personally, like I would be pretty happy with that.
I think so too. And I looked at these last 4 games, and I was just like, if we can go 3-1, that would be good. At least we'll get a couple games back over 500.
Yeah.
But us going into it 500 is okay. And to me, I felt like we honestly could win 3 in a row. I felt like Pistons. I knew this Grizzlies game was going to be tough, but I felt like it was winnable, and it almost was.
I mean, yeah.
If we were
Not
down
wrong.
30 instead of 35, we would have won the game.
Right.
If we were only down 30, we would have won. But that Grizzlies game, because we had beat the Grizzlies before. We beat the Grizzlies back in November in Memphis, so I know we can pull it off. We've beaten the Timberwolves already, so it's like all you have to do is beat teams that you already beat, and you would have been 3-0 going into that Miami game with some momentum. And if you want to lose, okay, you still go into All-Star break up a couple games of 500. Now, did it play like that? No, but I still think we can beat the Timberwolves. We've done it before, and now we have Montrezl Harrell, who, even though he's a little undersized, still he's a center. He can battle with Cat and do whatever, and we see how that goes, and we pull that win out. Then you go into that Heat game coming off a win, a little confident, and the Heat are not unbeatable. Yes, they do beat us pretty often, but they're not an unbeatable team.
No doubt.
We've beaten plenty of top teams in the NBA. We've beaten the Nets. We've beaten the Bucks. We've beaten good teams. So I know that we can beat the Heat. And I don't know. We just got to get fired up. We got to keep playing like we did in that second half of this Grizzlies game.
Yeah, man, that's my thing too. Is like I tweeted this out. Like you're never happy to lose, and like NBA, like it's not. You don't say like moral victories or whatever, but you're down 35 and you come back and you're down 4 with it was like at a minute and a half left or whatever. I don't think this team would have done that just like a week or two ago. Like this team gets down 35 like 2 weeks ago. They're probably just calling it a night. But I think Trez and JT Thor come in just like it's a mentality, man. It's like they're like take some pride in your performance, man. Like let's finish this thing strong. It doesn't matter, what the score is or whatever. We're gonna go out and we're still gonna play as hard as we can until
the guys are fired up. The crowd was fired up. I mean, that's one of the most amazing comebacks anybody's ever seen,
right?
Especially in person. At Spectrum Center, it was crazy. The Hive was alive. It was crazy, and even Melo was crazy, super fired up. He thought he had got fouled. I don't know if you saw it.
I think he did.
He
got fouled.
And he did get fouled. I saw it on the second. From the first angle, I didn't think that it was a foul, but once I saw it from like the under the basket angle, I was like, oh yeah, he definitely got fouled. But he like Book Knight had tried to calm him down. He pushed Book Knight. Then PJ came up. He pushed PJ like he was pissed.
He was fired up. Yeah,
he was like he's fired. He's fired up. And that's that passion that we need. That's that passion that we truly, truly need. So I like to see that. And now the media, I've already seen a couple YouTube videos like Melo fights teammates. Bro, it was passion. It's passion that I don't want to lose this game. And
right.
In a 4-point game when that happened, with the foul, that's an and one opportunity. That's a 1 possession game.
Get it to a 3-point game. Yeah.
So yeah, you think that LaMelo is going to make that free throw. So that no call was a big deal. And then Tyus Jones comes down and walks on that floater.
Yeah, he traveled.
Let that go. And, that's the game. So it's like close possessions right there. We have to have passion. You have to have passion.
Right.
That little bit of effort is what's going to win you the game.
Yeah, no, I'm on board. And I think that, man, like one thing, and kind of like a little bit off topic, but like the whole thing about like, young players like don't get calls the same way. Like, why? Does anyone ever ask why? Like a foul is a foul. Like if that same thing happens in 5 years, is he gonna get the call? Like,
Yeah, I
I
hate
get like,
that.
refs like, look, like I've refed basketball before. Like I ref just kind of like as a part-time job in college. I refed basketball and like you miss stuff. It's not like you can't get everything right, but I never like called or didn't call something because someone was older. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That just has never made sense to me. Like, oh, well, you know, no, like rookie's not going to get that call or I know like second
yeah.
year player or whatever. Like,
That I hate that, and I hate when a ref waits to see if the shot rolls in or rolls out to blow the whistle. Like if it goes in, they're not going to give you the and one.
right.
But if you miss it, they wait till the ball comes off the rim and then they'll blow the whistle and give you the foul. Like,
Yeah.
bro, it's either a foul or it's not. No
Right.
matter the scenario. I hate that as well. I hate that as well. Like, bro, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I don't care who it is. A foul is a foul. That's your job. That's what you get paid to do. You get paid to blow your whistle, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like that's it. So yeah, I hate to see that shit playing favorites. And now he's an all-star. So at this
Yeah.
point, it's like if
Yeah.
he's not getting them now, when does he get them? I don't know. Because
Hmm.
he Melo attacks the basket a lot and gets fouled.
Yeah, he
So does
does.
Miles. So does Miles. And they attack the basket hard. And I know with Miles, he's a more, stronger guy. So he might be able to absorb the contact and it's not as blatant. But Melo ends up on the ground a lot. And Melo will be on the ground and everybody else is running the other way. And it's just like, why is this
Like
happening three to
what's
four
going
times
on?
a game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting point with Miles. It's almost like, I used to hear stories about like Shaq, especially back in
Mhm.
the Lakers days, and it was like he was getting hacked every time. And he was like impossible to referee because he's so big. You could probably walk up and like punch him or something and he just wouldn't move. So it's like, it's like maybe more difficult to see. Obviously, like, Miles isn't Shaq, but he's still,
Yeah.
like he's obviously he's like a tank. He's like coming
He's
downhill
solid,
towards the
bro.
basket.
He's
So
solid, bro.
yeah.
It's the same thing with like LeBron and Giannis, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
big muscular guys who are very athletic. And I mean, when you're driving hard to the basket, there is going to be contact. But it's like to me, I hate when refs just ignore blatant contact. It's either
Yeah.
offensive foul or it's free throws.
Like it's
That's it.
something. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
can't be
something
nothing.
like you just see when two guys go crash to the ground and everybody just keeps going. You see the players looking around like, okay. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
And another one,
Referee,
like, yeah, they're kind of building on this. Like, it's kind of, man, when Gordon got hurt against Toronto, right? And he's
yep.
just laying there under the basket for like two pull possessions. Like, well, one, either I think you should call a timeout or like commit a take foul or something. Just like somehow like stop the game. Or just like if you're a ref, like at what point do you just decide to stop the game? Like, I mean, there's out on a YouTube clip of Carmelo Anthony. And I think it was when he was still
He
in
was knocked
Denver.
out,
Yeah, and he's just
bro.
like laying down on his back in the paint, and
He was
like
like,
two
he
whole
was knocked
possessions
out.
happen, and then Jr. comes down because Jr. was on Denver, and Jr. Smith comes down and like almost like steps on him because he's on the floor still. He's like, it looked like he was like unconscious or
He was
something.
unconscious. He was knocked out, bro.
He
I
was
don't know.
like, at what point do like sitting at the playground? Like,
Yeah,
what are we
like
doing here?
I don't know. Refereeing in the NBA is just one of the craziest things. It's one of the craziest things. In other sports, it is bad too, but in
Yeah,
The NBA is just like it gets bad because they let so much stuff slide, and then will call something ticky tack a few possessions later or later on in the game, and that's just to me where it's like there's not transparent refereeing or officiating, whatever you want to say, in the NBA, and that's what pisses me off. Even when the 2 minute report comes out, oh yeah, sorry, we blew this. Oh yeah, sorry, we blew that. Sorry, we gave you guys an L. Here's the report. Like, what is that? What
yeah.
is
I've
that?
like, oh my gosh, man, your guess is as good as mine. I got no clue.
I hate the 2 minute report. I appreciate it because like they are admitting fault and okay, yeah, we missed this call, we missed that call. This should have been this should have been that. But it's like, is the ref going to get fined? Is the ref going to get a game suspension?
Right.
Is this exact referee crew going to be allowed to work our next game? Like, what does that do? And that's one thing I like. Refs do not suffer any consequences.
No.
They could easily be selling games or throwing games, and not to say that that's really what's going on, but I'm just saying like there's no consequences
Like
for
if he
their
wanted to, yeah, I'm not sure what
actions.
would stop you from doing that.
Yeah, there's no consequences for their actions. But if a player in their post game conference says something about the officiating, that's a fine.
Fine, like automatic, basically,
So,
or a coach if a coach
well,
says it.
yeah, yeah. If anybody has anything to say about the officiating, that's a fine. But we don't hear refs at a post conference saying, "Oh yeah, I called this because of I saw this." And I would actually love to see that. Like,
That's
I
what,
want
yeah,
to
I think
see,
like a ref post game interview,
yeah,
like at
like
least go up there and like explain. I think people would be like, you know what, like I thought it was a bad call, and I still think it's a bad call, but like at least he explained it. Like I don't know if it would like change a whole lot of people's minds, but like I do think it would at least
I just
like,
want transparency, bro.
yeah,
That's
man, just
all I
like be
want.
honest about things. You know
That's
what I'm
all I
saying?
want. And it's like the 2 minute report, it's not something that's like readily available to like the casual fan is reading the 2 minute report. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I
Right.
don't read the 2 minute report. I read the 2 minute report with the Cavs game because of what happened, but it's like I don't read the 2 minute report.
That was
So
just, man, yeah. And I got into like, I don't say I got into arguments, but like I mentioned the end of that Cavs game and the bad calls that went against the Hornets. And then the Cavs fans in the mentions just saying, oh, well, the Rozier play and they gave you 4 free points. And look, like, I was like, yes, I agree. That was a terrible call. Like, we got
but
we got
Ed Davis is crazy
gift
for that.
wrapped 4 points. So, like, I'm not saying that was like why we lost that game. We lost that game because Cleveland was just better. But my point was that, man, like that was a fantastic game. It was really close. Came down to the very end, but it kind of stinks because like all people are going to remember is just the bad calls. And like I wish it wasn't like that. I wish it was like, man, like that was a good game. Cleveland's good, like Charlotte's good, but instead people were just arguing about the refs because there's terrible calls both ways.
Or no calls. I mean, it was crazy because like
Yeah,
Gordon Hayward basically got tackled, and in the 2 minute report it says that Gordon should have got called for an
it says it
offensive
was an
foul.
offensive foul. Yeah, I was like,
Like,
what?
bro, he literally tackled him from behind. Like, he literally gave him a hug from behind, and like that's it. Like, how was that offensive foul? And bro, I have no clue. And then they say that Kevin Love, the foul should have been on the floor. He shouldn't have had free throws. So it's just like the
And that
contradiction
blew my mind because they reviewed that too. So they
several
called it on the
times.
floor and then they reviewed it and
Yeah,
like confirmed that it was a shooting foul. If you look at the picture, his back is to the basket. So I said, I tweeted, I said, unless he was planning on shooting it backwards, like and just like tossing it over his head or something, I
yeah,
don't know
that's
how that's a shot. Like I don't know that.
it's crazy because it's like if y'all went to review it, the same people that reviewed it, like you said, it should have because they when they review stuff. That's what the caucus is for
Yeah,
in New Jersey. That's what it's for. So it's like if y'all looked at it and y'all the same people that write the 2 minute report, what the fuck? I don't understand. I don't understand. That's why I was like, I
it
need
needs to be
transparency.
like a different group of people.
Yeah, bro, I
You know what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? Like,
It's just I don't know. It's out of hand.
yeah, man.
Referees have too much power, bro. There's been a couple of games this year, like on national television, where it's like it's not the Hornets playing, and you'll just see tweets about we're not here to watch the refs, all kinds of stuff. Where it's
Yeah,
like, bro, y'all ruined the game, bro. Y'all ruined the game.
it's the that old clip of Shaq when he was on the Lakers getting interviewed after the game, and he said he dropped the F bomb, and the reporter said, "We're on live TV, Shaq." He said, "I don't care."
I don't
Yeah,
care.
like, oh my gosh, man. So LaMelo to the All-Star game, injury replacement, and man, I've mentioned this for several weeks now. Like it, obviously, you're excited that he makes it, but even more than that, like look, like Charlotte as a franchise for a lot of years has been just a team that like I don't think a whole lot of people pay a whole lot of attention to. And so when you get a dude like LaMelo and like his game is kind of perfect for like an all-star game
Yeah,
kind of a setting, you know what I'm saying? Like he's flashy, it's going to be fun to watch. So I just think it's like it's a big deal because it like I don't know. It's like helping Charlotte kind of be a team that people pay more attention to. What do you kind of think about that? Like, obviously, we're very excited to check that out, and the whole All Star weekend, I think, is going to be really, really exciting.
I mean, I think it was amazing. I did expect it. I knew that somebody had to be KD's injury replacement. Like even when LaMelo got snubbed, I said that in my YouTube video. I'm like, there's still the KD replacement. Him or Miles is probably going to get in. Just knowing Adam Silver and the way he likes representation in the NBA, we were the only team in the top 10 standings with no All Star.
Right.
So naturally, I could already see Adam Silver like, okay, Miles or LaMelo is getting in. So I definitely kind of felt like, we were going to get LaMelo in there anyway. And even he said the same thing. He was like, yeah, Mitch called me while I was taking a nap. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I made it cool. And then he goes back
Went back to bed.
yeah, because he was like kind of expecting like, somebody had to be the replacement. But I think it's a really big deal because LaMelo is a flashy all-star. We had, all-star and Kemba Walker, who, we loved him to death, but the rest of the NBA kind of still wasn't hip to him. Even being an all-star and just the city of Charlotte, like he was not a high profile guy.
He's kind of like I've said, it might have been when you were on the first time, and like it's no disrespect at all. It's just kind of like he's just kind of got like he was a star, but like he kind of had like a role player mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like his game was old school. It wasn't flashy, like you're saying. So yeah, it was just different. Like obviously we love Kimba, still do, but Kimba and LaMelo, it's kind of like just different.
I thought I'm not even gonna lie. I thought we were gonna trade for him though. Like
Yeah.
I had a mock trade with I was gonna send like Ish Smith in the second round or something, but I think he might get bought out. And we could
I think so too. And man, that's the thing. Like beyond just, I know like he's the injuries and all kind of have hurt him in the past couple of years, but like I just think it's like the Cam thing. It's like just getting him back in the building. I think what that would do to the fan base, and the Hornets are doing better than the Panthers did this year, I think, like relatively speaking, but just saying like, and he's not going to come in and be like your main guy. That's what you have LaMelo here for. But just like, I just think that could kind of just like provide just another spark to this team. You know what I'm saying? Like he is just such a good leader and just a good dude to have in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like you can never have too many like good guys in your organization. So
I think he won the award several times for like good sportsmanship or whatever. Like he won like that. But it's somebody that you want in your locker room. But I mean, I've seen people on Twitter like, no, we don't want Kimba. He's gonna play LaMelo even less. But you need a backup point guard. We can't have Terry Rozier playing 40 minutes a game because he plays backup point guard and
two guard. Yeah.
Like it's OD, bro. We need a backup point guard.
Right.
And that's just what it is. We have nothing but basically shooting guards that we're trying to force to play point guard. That's not what we need. We did that experiment with Malik Monk before.
Yeah.
Where, we're trying to force somebody to play point. They're like, no, you have to go out and get somebody who can really be a floor general and just knows how to play point guard. So I think if Kemba Walker gets bought out, I would definitely want to see him be a target for the vet minimum. Why not? We still have a spot open. And I think that might be what Mitch is waiting for. Just somebody, a buyout target that can come in and help. Because even Brad Wanamaker last year, like he made a little difference. He did something.
Yeah.
So, you need a backup point guard. It just is what it is.
Yeah. And I think, we'll see what the Knicks end up doing. But like right now, I'm looking at the standings. They're 12th in the East right now. They're 2 games out of 10th. So they're 2 games like out of even being in the play-in spot. So, are they really going to be looking to make a run, or like you're saying, like, buy Kemba out, just kind of like call it a season?
I think they had a fluke last year. And even last year, bro, they got clapped by Atlanta in 5 games. Like y'all got a gentleman sweep. And if you let Knicks fans tell it, they went to 7 games. Even the media, like, bro, why are the Knicks and Hawks playing on Christmas? Like it's some kind of crazy rivalry now. Like, bro, Trae Young whooped their ass, and that's it. That's it. But the way, the media spun it, the Knicks are back and they're a real deal. I did not have them making the playoffs again this year. I did have the Hawks making it. I'm surprised the Hawks are as low as they are. I had the Hawks making it. I did not have the Cavs making it. I didn't see this from the Cavs. I didn't have them in my mock playoff prediction. I
No.
didn't have them in there.
Yeah,
So
man, I'm thinking Cleveland is just like Cleveland and Memphis are kind of the like Memphis made the playoffs last year, but I think so like I'm not surprised that they're gonna make the playoffs again, but like they're the 3 seed right now, and they're 4 up on Utah, who's in fourth. So it's like, man, they're just better than I think than a lot of people thought they were gonna be.
yeah, they're locked in, and I saw something like where it's like this is the highest 3 seed, like with their age, like they're still like the third youngest team in the NBA.
Oh yeah, they're
Like,
very young.
so it's like their success is insane, but it's exactly what happens when you have in-house guys that develop.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens. That's what we need. That's what we need to be trying to mirror. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I hope Book just becomes a beast. I hope
Hoping
Kai,
so, man. I think it's coming. Just it's
like
hard to because like you want to see it right away. You want to see him step in and just like start balling from day one, but doesn't always happen that way. Like I'm just thinking like, just give him time. Like he's gonna get there. I think I'm confident in Book and Thor and Kai Jones. Like I mean, I think we've drafted well since
and
Kupchak
like you
took
already
over.
forget about Scotty Lewis. Like we had
Yeah,
4 picks
yeah,
last year, bro. Like that's crazy.
yeah.
And he's a good 2-way defender. I mean, like, offensively, but I mean, he's had a couple of games for the Swarmers. He's like the player of the game.
Hmm.
His buckets, but he is a good perimeter defender. So he
Yeah,
can
no
make his
doubt.
way. He can make his way up to the big boy club. Just often our need of defense.
Right, right. Yeah, no doubt. Awesome, man. Well, that's kind of everything that's been going on, man. We talked Trez trade. We talked past couple games, looked ahead, All-Star break. A lot going on, obviously. So we mentioned 2 games this week. You got at Minnesota and then Miami coming to town. And then we get the All-Star break. So, man, it'll be good. We'll have to get you back on the show post All-Star break. We'll talk LaMelo and we'll hopefully, be talking some more dubs that the Hornets pick up coming down the stretch of the season.
Hopefully, man, because we already had the toughest strength of schedule earlier in the year. So I thought, not it was going to be a cakewalk because I did see that rough patch coming up on the schedule, but we've kind of gotten past that. We've gotten past that now, and we are still going to have to play up to a few tough teams. But if we can just settle down, buckle in, we have plenty of home games left. Most of our games are at home for the rest
Right.
of the year. So, we got to get that home court advantage back and really go on a run. Because I mean, at this point, the East this year and the East last year are totally different. Like last year, we were the 4th seed. We were 1 game above 500.
Right.
And we were 4th seed last year. This year, we were 6 games above 500. We were the 7th seed.
Yeah. East is, I mean, it's, no slouch.
So we got to make a real run here because I don't want to end up being the 9th or the 10th.
No.
If we're 7th or 8th, I can live with that because that means you just got to win 1 out of 3 games and
Right.
you're in. So, that's what we need to do. I want to see us play a legitimate 7-game series, and I want to match up with the Bucks. We have to
Yeah.
make that possible somehow, because if we match up with the Bucks, bro, we can give them a run for their money.
So awesome, man. Well, I'm very excited about everything. I know we dropped it last time you were on the show, but remind the folks where they can find you on social media, keep up with you on YouTube channel as well. I know you're big on that platform also.
Yeah, tap in, man. Buzz Boys Podcast on YouTube, Buzz Boys 919 on Twitter. Please check me out. My YouTube is growing crazy. Like I had the book night video, like book night in Borrego. It got like 1,500 something like that, and then I just did like the Trez trade video, and that got like 1,700 or something like that. So it's like it's growing. I'm getting subscribers every day. That means so much to me. I love YouTube. I'm like basically dedicated to it now. So yeah, please tap in, please subscribe, comment, all that. And this video will be going on my YouTube as well.
Guys, you heard the man. Make it happen. Go drop him a follow. Terry, thanks so much for hopping on the show, my man. Always love having you on. We'll get you on again soon after All-Star break and whatnot. But appreciate you making the time today.
No problem, man. Hey man, who you got in Super Bowl?
Man, I think I got to roll with the Bengals, man. I think Joe is I think he's on a roll. I think it's kind of meant to be for them. But I'm not going to be too, torn up either way. I kind of like both of these teams. So
Hey, look, I caught it, man. I said Bengals are going to Super Bowl after they won their wild card game, or like in the middle of the wild card game. I tweeted, I said Bengals going to Super Bowl. and we were like, "You're crazy." Now look where we are. Bengals going to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl. So I don't know, man. Joe Burrow is just a likable guy.
he
He's just
is.
a
He
likable
is, man. It's tough not to root for him.
and the success and the run that he's gone on, like he will be the first person to win a Heisman, win a national championship, and win a Super Bowl, and in like 3 years, like in
Right.
that. So yeah, man, I want to see the Bengals get it done, man. I mean, but if Odell gets a ring, cool. I don't really care. I don't really care either way. So I'm like,
Yeah,
you, I don't.
that's kind of where I am too.
But I just want to see the Bengals do it just because like they hadn't had a playoff win in like 30 years. It would just be like it would
That's
just
my
be
thing,
like
man. Yeah, I'm
the Hornets
24.
made the
Like they've
Eastern
never
Conference
been good.
Finals. It would be like if the Hornets made the Eastern Conference Final or
It would,
something.
yeah, it would be.
Like,
It's
bro, let's go.
that's a good
Let's
comparison.
go.
That's really
I
pretty much
support small
exactly what
market
it is.
teams, bro.
Yeah.
I try to support the Browns because they go through the same stuff, like mediocrity for years. I try to support the Browns, but the Browns are just too incompetent. So go Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, success.
Well, there it is, the official Super Bowl prediction. Lock it in, folks. Awesome,
Yeah.
Terry. Man, thank you so much for hopping on the show, my man. Though, take it easy. We'll get you on again soon. All right.
All right, but hey man, yeah, DM me and let me know when you sent the link because I have too many emails. I have plenty of emails, so
All good. Yeah.
when you sent it, so I can make sure to post it up here once I figure out how to. I don't really know how to do that, but I will.
All good, man. Awesome. I'm gonna hop us off the recording, and then I'll get this right over to you.